All right, just a little update on what we're working on, the never-ending project. So in the last about 3 months ago, I was working on the back doors of Mr. D2 here, and this is what they look like in real life. These are made by a guy in the club, Kevin Holmes. His bread pans, they're pretty excellent. They have a nice servo holder on the back and a linkage, and I've got a servo tester hooked up here. They open the back door and you send it a command. So they go here. I'll just show you. All right, but because we're all using different parts, like from different runs and things like that, these didn't fit, so they had to have a 5mm hole on to the left, basically, to give it room to fit once you put the skin on. So here's our two skins. Yeah, so to fit and open, they have to be over 5mm. All right, and they go in these two screw posts here and the post at the bottom, and you get a really secure fit. I can jam it in there with one hand. There we go. And you see the servo linkage goes on the top. If I can get some light in there. Yeah, you see the servo linkage on the top. And there's, like, you know, very little clearance on the bottom, a lot of room on top. So that was all fine and good until we got to this side. So this is the Pittman motor that spins the dome. And it's got to be pretty close to the side in order to spin the dome, because that rubber thing has to make contact with the inner trace and then turn the whole head. So when you put the bread pan in there, the servo linkage hits it. There's no way you can get that done. And I started building these before I put these skins on to test. And I actually drilled a hole here in this one. My solution was, I'm going to mount it upside down. I'll put the servo linkage at the bottom and it'll fit. And I had like a hole drilled to get that big screw into the top of the breadboard there. There we go. Anyways, what happens is the clearance doesn't work. The servo linkage creates too much space. I even had to Dremel out some room here for the linkage to clear when it opened and closed. Anyways, it's off. When you have the skin mounted, it does something like this, where the door is like a couple millimeters above the skin and you can't open it. It's got to be down here, which means the servo linkage has to be on the top. All right, so what to do? Well, this thing I had mounted on this side before. This is my power switch and my my voltmeter. I flipped them upside down, and let me disconnect this voltage tester. I buried the servo inside the top of the bread pan. So just dremeled it out, and there it is there. It's black, so you don't see it. There's a little hole in the back for the servo wire. I cut the linkage up and tested it so it'll open and close. And now, when it goes up here, the servo linkage isn't in the back. I folded down the little holders. Let's just get it up in there. And you'll see that it fits pretty good. And the mechanism clears everything in there quite easily. It doesn't come into contact with the pittman, and it doesn't hit these two screws that are going to eventually hold it in there. So the only downside is when it's open, you're going to be looking at a little servo box at the top. But since this is going to be my power side, I'm going to have all the buttons and things on this side. It won't be too bad. Maybe I'll throw some flashing LEDs on it. Yeah, so that essentially, when we have them skinned, will be that portion right there. When that opens, you'll see his power button, and the servo is recessed to allow it to fit in with the Pittman motor there.